Let's see what we got here. Live on Facebook. I'm not getting that little red dot like that it's recording. Oh, it says we're live, but I didn't get the red light. Okay. All right, so we're live. We're
Oh,
live.
great. Just commenting on Jay's comment about taking cold showers and making your bed in the morning.
Oh, was that my little thing about taking a, do you make your bed in the morning?
Yeah. Yeah, I just recently I mean I do make the bed, and I just recently started getting into cold showers, which, oh my goodness, I don't know why I've never done it before, but I can see why people don't do them. But cold showers, my goodness, the amount of benefits you receive from it.
And I went to Germany a couple of years ago, and our guide took us to this spa in Germany that was like a really big, huge, big thing to go there. So we went, and there was like a pool, and they had the hot where you went in the really, really, really hot, and then you got out and you went into the really, really cold. And I did it one time, and I thought I was going to have a heart attack. So I said, oh, I think I'll pass on that hot and cold. Oh my gosh. What are the
Yeah.
benefits for, all I do is work on this. What's the benefit of a cold shower, Bobby? Tell me.
Well, there are a lot of well, I think one of them is willpower. You increase your amount of willpower for the rest of the day when you take your cold shower.
Oh, I should definitely do that because I have like no willpower.
Exactly, right? Like that's the best benefit I can think of for why I do it. It's really for productivity reasons. I mean, obviously it jolts you awake, right? Gets you all that energy, which is, yeah, I mean, I never really equated, jolting myself awake, with a cold shower to an increased amount of energy. But actually, scientifically, that's what's going on. Like you're literally increasing your energy. That's the best way to do that.
How long is supposed to do that cold shower? Like 10 seconds?
Yeah, the first 10 to 15 seconds, I believe, is the hardest part. But once you get past that threshold, you start to receive the benefits and you start to get used to it, right? So it's really those. I mean, let's be honest. It's the minute or two before the cold shower that's the hardest when you're thinking about it, right?
Do I turn the knob? Do I turn the knob?
Yeah, exactly.
So welcome to What's New Wednesday, Bobby. How are you today? It's beautiful.
Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Good. So I know Bobby from, and as you know, it's always a cat show here. Sorry, no, can't do anything about it. Yeah. Cats are everywhere. So I am the crazy cat lady.
No shame in that.
No. So I got introduced to Bobby, reached out to me to do the Designers on Social Summit. And at first I was like, what's it going to cost me? What do you want from me? How much is this? But it turned out to be a really great experience. And I wanted to talk to you about, well, I know you have the same circle method that the name of your company. What's that all about, and how did you get started with that?
Ooh, good question. Where do I start with that? So first of all, I'm one of those people who, when they map out their lives on a piece of paper, it doesn't look like a linear path. Like if you ask my wife, ever since she graduated from college, She interned at Morgan Stanley, and then she's been there for like 15 years or something. Like she's only worked at one place. So it's like if you draw X on the map to where she's at right now with the destination, it's like one line, you know? With me, it's more like a snake. And it's just like it zigzags here and there, and it just doesn't make sense, right? So when it comes time to tell my story, it never usually, it's always a hard endeavor. I come from a background of primarily marketing and sales, but also entertainment and music. So I did actually go to school for recording engineering, and I worked at a few record labels, a few recording studios. I really wanted to be a superstar producer at one point in my life.
Okay.
If you put me in a room with Beyonce, I think I can hold my own. Honestly, yeah, because from the technical side of it, like the engineering side of it, the producing, I have a pretty good enough ear to be able to pull off a song for Beyonce. As long as she's bringing the vocals, I'm good, right?
Right. As
So
long she could sing the alphabet.
yeah, exactly.
Not to put down your skills as a producer. No. So that's interesting. And so how does that end you up here?
Yeah. So if you trace back more recent 5 to 10 years, when I left corporate, I think the music industry was like my last. No, not the music industry. After I left working for a major record label, I worked for a commercial design firm doing marketing for them. I headed up marketing for them. And it was there where I kind of was triggered. I was triggered because I was fired. And I was fired because I couldn't do marketing for them. And I asked myself why. It's a little bit more of a different ball game when you're helping a major record label market artists, and you're creating these PR releases, and you're thinking about these locations, where these venues where the artists are best.
Yeah, big time. Lots of work.
Yeah. It's a different feeling and set of methodologies and thinking patterns. And when I was at the firm, it was quite hard at the time. We were, our best marketing thing or activity was every Wednesday what's new Wednesdays? Every Wednesday we would talk to a WordPress developer and discuss button colors and maybe changing around a few different pieces of text on the website, or uploading new photography. This was a time when Instagram wasn't a thing yet.
Right.
It was also a time when LinkedIn was used a lot for biz dev, on the commercial side of it.
Right.
And so anyways, my boss just called me to his office and said, I can't afford you, Bobby. And that was the trigger that led me to, okay, after I leave from the corporate world, I want to figure out how to do this. I want to figure out the solution for it. And so
for marketing,
yeah. And plus I loved being in the design industry. So, and it just made sense to me. So anyways,
you had an aha moment.
Yeah, well, it wasn't an aha moment right away, but an aha moment as far as like what felt right to continue on that path, right?
Okay.
And then for about 6 or 7 years, I was the owner of an agency. I developed an agency that served the built environment, from architects to interior designers to design build firms. Yeah, and the services were premiumly charged. Like these were monthly retainers where companies were paying the agency about $3,000 to $5,000 per month.
Right.
And it was, so as you can tell,
not me.
Well, so only firms who are doing quite a bit of revenue were able to afford these services. But there's also a whole breadth of other smaller business owners that we knew needed help. And so I really just decided to distill all that, all the data that I collected, all the learning lessons. Not all of them were great, and provide that in a coaching and mentorship capacity, which is now the Same Circle method.
Okay, so tell me about the Same Circle method. That's pretty interesting. And then we're going to go all full circle and come around to Designers on Social Summit. That's my circle method.
Yeah, there you go. So the Same Circle method is a place where I provide designers a roadmap to take them from not really having any marketing that's speaking to their ideal clients, to being that trusted designer who is able to attract the kind of client who will trust their vision, and having that being harmonious, right?
Right.
And so that's essentially what it is. It's just a roadmap that I guide designers on. And in that
for their social media, or just marketing and everything in general?
Yeah, we focus on very foundational marketing principles. So we don't get pulled in every single direction whenever there's a new feature on Instagram or, whatnot, that requires you to pray to the algorithm, and so it's a mix of marketing, social media, getting partnerships with the right influencers, developing your authenticity while doing everything, and putting yourself out there in a way that makes you still, retain your values and also able to attract the right people. So
I think that's what's one thing that's really hard when you hire out stuff like social media. Like, I have somebody that handles my social media marketing because I don't like it. I didn't grow up with Instagram, and I don't really like having everybody know all my business. Although nowadays it's like, well, we need to know about you, so we trust you. The whole dynamic of how we do business has changed. So I don't really enjoy that, going on the phone, taking pictures. So, but to have somebody who can speak for me and have my vision and my colors and my personality, that finding somebody to handle that it's relieved me. It's such a relief, because it's almost like you need to do these Instagrams. You need to do, if you don't do it, like, what happens? I don't know. I'm afraid to stop.
what happens, right? Yeah.
Right? What happens if you don't do it anymore? Like, nobody likes me anymore. I don't know.
Yeah. There's that mindset element of it creeping.
No one likes me. I didn't
no
get
one
any
likes
likes.
Not good enough.
Right.
Yes.
Why don't you like me? So there's something to be said with all of that social media liking and following. And I think it really hits into our ego as people. Like, oh, I have followers, like, would have been nice when I was a teenager. Like, oh, it would have been really good for my confidence.
Yeah. And to that point, I think that's where it starts getting into dangerous territory, because as soon as we start to get wrapped up in that, we start to rely on metrics that don't really get us booked consultations. And all of a sudden, we're doing social media that just looks good on the vanity side and not really producing results on the ROI side.
Right.
I wanted to make and help designers make.
Because it's an investment for me having somebody do this for me. So it really is a return on investment. You're really looking for that at the end of the day, the wow after all of your effort and time that you put in.
Right.
It's so confusing to me because it's not my generation. And like, I try and understand it, and the algorithms, I'm like, screw algorithms. I don't even understand it, and they're probably going to change it tomorrow anyway. So I just can't absorb all these things that you need to do. It's like, oh gosh, that's why we hire designers, because we can't design, or that's why you hire out these professionals to help. and
Yeah.
one of the great things about social media and how it's exploded is this how we're able to interact and talk to each other. And you're in California and I'm
Hmm.
in New York, and people from all around the world basically are in my group and are my friends. So, I've got like 4,500 friends, very close friends. You should see it when I have a party. So,
You do so well for what I mean, you got a lot of what is it called? Social media currency going, right?
I
I mean,
just do it. You know why? I don't think so much. We
yeah.
overthink things in general. And that's why you have to stop thinking and just do.
Hmm.
You got to get rid of that. And there's no such thing as perfect. Like I tell people, there's no perfect countertop material. There's
Right.
no perfect cabinet material. There's no perfect. There's nothing that's perfect. There's no perfect tile.
Hmm.
Nothing is perfect. So if
Perfect.
you're waiting for it to get perfect, you're going to die, because the only one who's perfect is, to me, God, our higher power. That's perfection.
Right.
That's what we try to achieve. But we're
Right.
never, ever going to get there. We'll get as close as we can. So instead of taking time to go over with the minutia, I just
Mhm.
do it. I don't think so much. I
And
just kind of like, what's the worst that could happen, Bobby? What's the worst that could happen? People click me off and go, oh, I don't like her. All right,
yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
What's the
And-
word? Like I used to tell my daughter when she would go in for something, ask, should I ask for whatever? I said, if you don't ask, you're never going to get it. And what's the worst that could happen? They tell you no. They're not going to kill you. They're not going to choke you. They're not going to poke your eyes out.
Yes,
Just going to tell you no. But
it's a that's a very good point because a lot of people, I just talked to someone the other day and we were talking about getting on camera a little bit more, and she would say, she would let this leave her lips. I'm afraid to put myself out there in front of a million people. Well, the thing is, you might not be in front of a million people for a while.
exactly, if ever.
So I
Very
think
true.
people have this like in their minds that they're going to be in front of like a million people, and in reality, yeah, I mean, literally, if you say something wrong, like one or two is probably going to dislike you, and then, but how's that even, you know,
How does it matter?
how does
At
that
the
even
end of the
matter?
day, how does it really matter? Because
Yeah.
for the one person who doesn't like you, you'll get two people who love you.
Mm-hmm.
And thank
Yes.
you for the compliment that I do pretty good. I remember when I was telling my daughter, my granddaughter, I said, I'm going to go on live. I'm going to start doing live shows because my coach, Nancy Ganzikoffer, we were doing live. And it was like, well, what are you going to name your show? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. What's new Wednesday? I have no clue. What time you're supposed to go on? I have no clue. Just do it. Just do it. And that's it. So when I told my daughter and my granddaughter, I said, so I'm going to do the, and they go, okay, let me see. And my granddaughter pulls the camera, and I did like a fake, this is the Bosch dishwasher, model number, blah, blah, blah. And they said, I think you're going to be okay. And I am, and I have a lot of fun. I'm a fun person. I say
Yeah.
funny things. I think funny things. I crack myself up all day long.
Yes.
Sometimes I cry, but for the most part, I enjoy what I'm doing, and I have a really big passion for my industry. And even though social media is like a crazy pain in the tuchus, it's created such a great environment for me, like getting to know you, getting to know other people and people in my group. It's bad and good, so I'm
Yeah.
happy I have some people to help me with that.
Yeah.
But and
Yeah.
I
I
know,
think,
go ahead.
yeah. And that's also, one, that's a great testament to why you're successful is because you're consistent with it. And you overcome those demons of, oh, should I be perfect and, enough, or whatever people are going to say about me, which, those are demons you know we should honor. I mean, they're real, they affect people, sometimes they make people depressed, uh, and so the other thing is that, um, I think we also tend to forget the point of social media, which is about connection. And it is about meeting those people who you can serve and make better, like improve their lives just a little better. And if
Mhm.
you can put out one post that can just make one person's life better,
Mhm.
one aha moment, then, the all of a sudden the attention isn't on you, it's on them, which is where it should be. And also being conducive to more connection and meeting other people. And um, like you say.
I also think that by having these social media groups and by having designers out there talking and talking to each other, talking to their clients, if you give a little, you get a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
if like in my group, I do have some people who aren't professionals, but they're people renovating, doing their homes over or something like that. And I really believe if they want to come and ask a question in my group, what does it take to answer these people in a little text, a little comment on their thing. So I took 5-10 minutes and I told that homeowner something really valuable. And
Mm-hmm.
some people in the group would be like, oh, they're a homeowner, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, well, I really think that it's better to give a
Mm-hmm.
little bit because first of all, it makes you feel good. Isn't it easier to just go, ah, da, 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 instead of like, oh, well, she said that, let me complain. It's such an easy thing just to go like, yeah, you just do this, do that, do this, do that. Because it's not hard for me to tell you what to do. The homeowner has no clue. But for
Mm-hmm.
me, it's like, oh, do this. So, and it feels better to help
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Sometimes I have stuff to say, sometimes I don't. And I really want to bring on people like you to talk about your company. So, and also the designers on Social Summit, because that was a really big inspiration for me. I have to tell you, I want to know, how did this come about? Like, what was your thinking with this? Tell us about Designers on Social Summit.
Sure. So the first time I organized it was in 2019 in December. So that at that time, I was, this was obviously pre-pandemic. And so at that time, virtual events were like not the
Mm.
way it is today.
Mm-hmm. One
In
year
terms of,
really changes a lot, huh?
yeah, both in terms of how people execute virtual events and also in terms of awareness, like people didn't really think about
Sure,
virtual
sure.
events. And so I was looking into a couple of offline events, all these designer events, and I was looking into um, connecting with other people who also uh, did or provided services to the trade. And at that time, the connections were all happening offline, which is fine. That's the way things have always been done.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I didn't see anything that was immediately for me to grasp at my fingertips. Sometimes, I'm just kind of a person who just, while I do love connection with people in real life, I also, when I need something, I need to have some immediacy, right? Uh, so I guess I don't know, I guess I would be classified as a millennial because of that. I don't know. Um, and so that's what got me thinking about creating a platform where all the best of the best in the industry and I could curate the best business and marketing practices from the best of the best in the industry, have them come together, and then provide this knowledge, distill it down to the fingertips of designers who need them right at that moment, because we all get busy. We don't
Right.
always have time to fly out, book a hotel room, da 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 da, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that
Mm-hmm.
was the genesis of the first one. And And then now we're, in the second iteration of that, which you were a part of.
I was, and it was really, really wonderful. Yeah, I had to give my time. So for my time, I had a wonderful time doing it, and I enjoyed my master class afterward. And I felt that I gave those people knowledge. My
Mhm.
motto is knowledge is power. So if you have, I didn't want to give a webinar or a master class or anything just to talk about to sell something. I really want to teach so that when you walk out at the end of the day, you learn something, because we should learn something new every day. So I'm really, really, really gung ho on the technical part of things.
Mhm.
Like what, having been involved with your Designers on Social Summit, I realize that in addition to National Kitchen and Bath Association, because they're the United States, they're huge, right? And the Kitchen and Bath Industry Show, which is like overwhelming. What else do we really have that focuses on the kitchen and bath? And I said, you know what I want to do? I want to do like what you did, and I want to do what Luann Nigara is doing, but I want to do it in the kitchen
Mm,
business.
that'd be awesome.
A kitchen and bathroom. Like I can talk about the technical cabinetry. So someone else, I want to get a lawyer in there who deals with contractors and so really making it a full day summit, like what you did and what people are doing, and just gear it towards the kitchen and bath industry.
Mhm.
And that I can see that that's going to be a possibility, that I'm, because I'm a doer and I have this idea, and I'm going to ask you, Bobby, how did you do it? How'd you get started?
Yeah.
What did you do? Who did you call? How did you come up with all of that? Did you do it alone or did you have help?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I definitely didn't do it alone. That would, oh my goodness, the amount of help I had. Um, yeah, we had a very, very tight ship that we ran. Uh, and we were tracking everything in a CRM. We used HubSpot for that. We were tracking all of our. So that was in regards to the relationships and the connections we were having with people like yourselves. Um, that was all tracked in the CRM, so we can stay on top of all of our conversations. Because Gene, who is the event manager, is also connecting with all of you, and so we all need to be aligned,
Yeah.
and making sure that you guys are taken care of. And then on the actual, logistics side, like we tracked everything inside of Asana, our
Mhm.
project management system, and we had probably hundreds of cards that we were just like moving around on the Kanban board every single day. Um, and so as far as the team goes, we had a website developer, we had a graphic designer, I even hired a consultant this time around, an events consultant, a virtual events consultant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because the first time I did it,
What's
I
her name?
did it. I can refer you absolutely. Um, she's wonderful. She is like the sweetest person. You'll love her if you hire her. But
That's a new position with new job we didn't think we'd ever have growing
oh
up. What do
right,
you want to be? I want to be an online events manager.
yes. And the pandemic needs to happen first.
Yes, yes. And then it's gonna boom.
Yeah. So, needless to say, I was not doing it all by myself. Jean was just, wow. She was communicating with everybody. She managed the whole thing. She was like communicating with the team, and
Mm.
so back in front end, she was all there. And
It
so,
was really having been a host, or a speaker or whatever, it was done very well. I've never done anything like that before. The communication was very clear, and if I had a question, it was always answered. And I never felt like, oh no, what am I going to do? This is going to be, and even during the event, I've been to lots of online events, and we can all say the kitchen and bath industry show was a major fail. I can say
I
whatever
heard
they
about
want to
that. I
say.
didn't really dig into it.
Their platform that they presented crashed.
Oh,
So all the vendors, and I mean, to be honest, there's really nothing of the same as going to a show in person. And it was all really just kind of clips of people's, Tresco lighting and LG appliances. So it was, but totally failed. That online event just down the tubes. But what was it? What was the point of what I was saying? See what happens?
I
Online events. I don't know, Bobby.
yeah.
I'm over 40.
Let me try to think about it. I think you were touching on, so well, let me, if it helps, I was talking about the logistics of putting an event together.
Oh, so when even doing the event, it went really smoothly. There was no, like, very few glitches. I was watching something the other day. I was trying to do that 19 hours, whatever that they're doing together, and they were freezing, and problems. I can't be bothered, so I shut it off. I have other things to
Uh,
do besides wait for them to come back online. So I
right.
think technically the platform that you used and the way that you put it all together, it executed itself really well, even with those tables and everything that people were,
Mhm.
you can get into that breakout table.
Right.
That platform was brilliant. And I really want to tell you, you and your team put together an awesome um, program,
Oh, thank you.
summit. And it's inspired me to see what I can do about that special kitchen and bath.
Yeah, I would love to help you develop that, and whatever way I can support you. Absolutely.
Yeah,
That sounds amazing.
yeah, because they're always talking about social media and blogging and branding and your logo and business practices and stuff like that. But
Hmm.
I find that there's not really a place to teach you how to do a kitchen layout. And I've got a lot of designers that do kitchens, but they have no clue.
Hmm.
So you should know what you're talking about. And I want these fabulous designers out there that don't really know kitchen and bathroom to really sound like they know what the heck they're talking about. Because if you don't sound like you know what you're talking about, everybody's gonna just walk all over you, especially those contractors with those contractor boots. Just
No, I
stomp
have
right
to
over.
also thank you because we received a lot of feedback from the event, and there were a couple of presentations where the attendees felt like they were a little bit on the salesy side, and but I have to say that your presentation and masterclass was chock full of content and golden nuggets, and so I really thank you for providing such a value add for the event.
I think I did get someone who joined my membership site.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
good,
Or
good.
maybe, did I have it launched then? Yeah, because I just had it, I just launched it. It's good. It's an educational tool for people.
Mhm.
The Kitchen and Bath Design um, Academy. So I actually had somebody who took my lighting master class. I'm just going to do a self promotion here. I did my lighting webinar,
Mhm.
and somebody referenced the class and give a shout out to me on Instagram. I was like, oh wow. And she loved my class and she can't wait.
Mhm.
And she actually made a little thing and quoted me. I was like,
Oh.
ooh, see what can happen when you just throw spaghetti against the wall and you see what sticks. Stuff sticks.
Yeah, right.
Hmm.
Well, I'm so happy for that.
Thank you. Yes, and I got your lovely thank you package in the mail. I'm still eating those little truffle things.
Oh, do you receive them? I'm so
I
glad.
did. That
So
was fun. Made that cocktail right away.
glad. Yeah, and so just so everybody knows who is in this group and also purchase the all access pass, you're now able to view your masterclass replay directly on the designersonsocialsummit.com website.
So
Um,
how does the first Designers on Social compare to the second Designers on Social? Because the first one came out like pre-pandemic, right at the beginning of the pandemic.
mhm.
So here we are a year later and we're running it again, but it's now we're accustomed to these online
Mhm.
shows.
Yeah.
So how would you say the difference between the first year and then the second year, and where do you see it going for the third year?
Mm, great question. Um, so the first thing I would have to say is that uh, we received feedback from the first event and decided to create more intimacy for the second event. So the first event, we basically had a similar layout to the presentations, the 15-minute presentations. Well, actually, no, we didn't have 15-minute presentations. What we had were longer um, uh, presentations, up to an hour,
Okay.
um, and and so they were provided on for viewing on the website, but there was no intimacy.
Mhm.
And this time around, the second event, I decided to do two things. I decided to make the presentations that were free to attendees, to make them even shorter, so they're bite-sized, no more than 15 minutes long, so that the way that, and I also made sure that those presentations had concrete takeaways
Mhm.
that they can implement. And the second thing I decided to do for the second event was to provide intimacy through the master classes. So if you purchased an all access pass, you were able to go to your master class and participate in inside of a breakout table to get your
Love that.
questions answered afterwards. And if you also had any kind of like uh, workbook materials, you can also provide that in your master classes.
Mhm.
And so that was the main difference there, and it was all stemming from the feedback we got from the first event, which is, by the way, the best marketing principle that I go by, which is learn from your feedback and don't be afraid to get negative feedback either.
It's the same thing. Negative feedback is actually like critique. When we used to have our art, do our interior design, and we'd all have to put up our designs, the boards, and we'd have to critique it. And the teacher would say, critiquing is not belittling. Critiquing is liking it and working, see how you can learn, it's giving positive and negative, but with a method, with the theme of making it better,
Mm-hmm.
right? So critiquing is important, not criticizing. We're
Mm-hmm.
critiquing. So your feedback, sometimes it's scary to get the feedback. Oh, do I really want to know what they think of that? Or do I not want to know? So, but the feedback, like you had,
Mm-hmm.
it creates a roadmap for the next event.
Mm-hmm.
And now I loved the breakout room. Now people have to realize, if you have one or two people that show up in your breakout room, to me, that was huge, because anybody that wants to come and talk to me, I find is like, why do you want to talk to me? But I don't realize how much I really know, and that people are, intrigued by that. So I
Yeah.
didn't have to have a full table for my ego to be fluffed or to think that it was successful. I got a few good comments. I got a few nice, just enough to say, good job. I liked what you presented. So as
Mm-hmm.
long as we're not looking to like have hundred, I think that people think that, oh, I'm going to start an Instagram, or I'm going to start my Facebook group and I'm going to get thousands of people, 1, 2, 3. No, it takes a time to build it all up, and
Yeah.
take every little compliment that people say to you and every critique, take it all with a grain of salt, and take what you want out of that critique.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody they're just people too. They don't necessarily mean they're any better than you, but
Mm-hmm.
critiquing is good and bad, but and also, what is the other thing they used to say? Copying is the best form of flattery.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Imitation.
imitation is the best form of flattery. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is, think about that, and it's nicer feeling than if you think, oh, they stole my idea. And so I
Right.
always try to think of things in a more positive twist on things, but critiquing
Absolutely.
helped you improve
Mm-hmm. Yes.
your platform.
Absolutely. We found that people absolutely love the breakout table experience. And so uh, uh, um, that's what we're going to do way more of for the third event too. And when we received feedback, we also asked this one question, which was, what do you feel like what do you feel like was missing um, in terms of content? And one of the most frequent answers that we got was, while you do have business and marketing, we also like to get some more content um, about the trade itself, which is exactly what you would be bringing, right? So we only had like one of you, and so we had more of you, more people like yourself. So that gives you validation for creating your event too, because that's something.
Wow, that's really cool. That's
Yeah.
great. I think it's fabulous. That this is where the social media and Facebook and Instagram and all that's where, to me, it's amazing. It's fabulous. I asked a question in my group where people are from, and they're from all over. Hawaii, Africa, South America. I mean, all over Europe. It's really, really amazing that we can talk to people and interact with people like this. And I think that feedback from people, I can see the need as a interior designer, kitchen and bath specialist, that there is a need for education.
Mm-hmm.
There is that need for some technical talk, like how to do a window treatment. Like, I don't know, but maybe I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
So those type of learning experiences, I think, are going to be the next level of Zooming and webinars and things like that, to really, because it's such a vast audience that you're able to capture.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, and I think that marketing, we're all trying to sell you something. Everybody gets tired of that. Tell me
Yeah.
something I don't know. Teach me something.
Yeah.
Enrich my life.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Mhm.
And
Now, go ahead.
well, I was going to ask you about your academy. How does that actually work?
Well, what it is, it's an online membership site, and I have signature programs that are available for purchase separately, or they're all included in the academy. And it's a newer academy, so there's a few webinars in there: the kitchen design guidelines, bathroom design guidelines, cabinet standards, and I've got some PDFs in there, and I have my lighting webinar, my
Mm-hmm.
lighting course that's getting launched in there. So every month I'm launching new topics geared towards kitchen and bathroom, like plumbing. So it's growing, and it's an online platform where you can come, and I've done the PowerPoint presentations, and there's PDFs. So basically I give a PowerPoint presentation, and I break it down into like 10-15 minute sessions so that it's not overwhelming. And then
Mm-hmm.
I ask a couple of quiz questions, make sure you're paying attention,
Mm-hmm.
and you get the download of all the PDFs. So um some information is from the guidelines are basically set by the National Kitchen and Bath Association. So
Mm-hmm.
I use their guidelines, and I chose the guidelines that I use the most, that I think make the most sense in basic design, that everybody should know these basics. It was, some stuff in NKBA, like they start to talk about your square footage of storage. And I think like, I don't need to worry about the square footage of storage. I just need to know that my client needs a spot for knives and forks and spoons, so I didn't talk about things I don't think are necessary. And I
Interesting.
elaborated and changed things that I think
Right.
are more current to our business, like the triangle. It's no longer one triangle, it's multiple triangles. And the triangle was developed or came up with a marketing scheme
Mm.
in the 30s or 40s, 50s,
Yeah.
to get people to redo their kitchen.
I didn't know that.
Yep, that's what they did. So you have to have the triangle.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. That's exactly why what you have going is such a valuable thing, because you have your perspective on it and what's current in the real world right now, what doesn't need to be taught anymore,
Right.
And people can fast track that way much, much, much faster.
And like this about the light bulbs. Now it's one thing to say that's a LED, that's a fluorescent, that's a incandescent. But because this is how my brain works, I like to find out why technically is an incandescent different than a fluorescent technically. Like just don't tell me one is a tube and has different ends. No, it's the chemical makeup inside, it's the coating, it's the glass, it's so complicated, and I find that stuff fascinating. So I break it all down into more of a scientific method. Everything gets it's much more technical. I talk about the tech, like I say, you're not talking about color. If you want to talk about color, go to design school or go to art school. I'm not here to discuss color. If you need the color theory of color, you shouldn't be a designer. And I think you should there's other ways to learn about your color like there's so many people, this is the theory of color. I'm like primary, secondary, tertiary.
So
I teach the technical things.
Yeah.
What it is. And it's a monthly membership where I go live in my private group and I hold Zoom webinars, question and answer sessions. So that's what the Kitchen Dance Design Academy is.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And is there a recommended path that you take a designer through? Like maybe you should start with these things first and then start attending regular sessions, or?
What I have in there now, it's very basic. It's like the foundation. Like designers don't really understand what's a cabinet, what makes up a cabinet, what makes one a framed, what is frameless, what is particle board. So it's a real foundation for whether you're an experienced designer or a new designer. So every course I give is based on like 101, and then the next course would be 102, and the next course. So like you need to know the principles so that you can now design, and then I teach you how to design once you know all about the cabinetry. So it's like a full circle, and there will be prerequisites, like in order to take kitchens 2, you really need to know kitchens 1. So, but certainly if somebody wanted to jump in there and do it, I'm not going to stop anybody from learning the way that they want to learn, because it's an on-demand online program. And it's a really good deal because I'm just starting it out. So it's only $28 a month. And,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I was thinking a lot more.
Well, because I want to make it accessible.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it, and it's not 100 courses yet. When it gets to be 100 courses, then maybe the price will go up. But right now it's $28. And like I said, I want to make it accessible to everybody. And I like sharing my knowledge and stuff like that. That's what I do.
Well, we know that we won't be getting a shortage of that when getting it from you, for sure. So
what do you have going forward, Bobby? What's up for? So the name of your company is the same Circle Method?
Yep, the same circle method. Yeah.
What we got going on there, Bobby?
Well, I mean, I've been a little quiet recently with the aftermath, if you will, of DOS, and so I plan to just be a lot more out there and supporting with more resources. Uh, I'll be posting more in my own Facebook group too. So, uh, anyone who isn't part of my Facebook group is welcome to join. It's called the Social Media and Video Marketing for Interior Designers Facebook group. Although I'm actually planning to change the name just a bit, so it might be hard for people to find if they're listening to this recording on replay. So yeah, I'm just planning to be out there and serve. That's what I got going on, and yeah, if anyone wants to connect with me on Facebook.
Yeah, and under the live here, I could probably add the comment. So it's Bobby, what are you, the same
Uh,
circle?
for what again?
Your company, same circle method.
Are you looking for a website?
No, I'm just writing it in here. Same circle method is your company.
Mm-hmm.
And designers.
Are you in my Facebook group?
I think so.
I think you are.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I put it designers on social summit, and you're gonna put on the your links under this feed.
Oh, I can do that. Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Awesome. So any marketing tips you have for us now that we should be looking at for the new 2021, 2022? Anything special that we should know for marketing?
Well,
Any
I would
tips?
say what's top of mind for me, at least for me, is just remembering what your values are when you're putting yourself out there. And we often, tend to forget what our dreams are, why we do things when we're in the middle of writing a caption or, commenting on someone's cat. Just remember what your values are, and that's going to really propel you into thinking about how can you do it better and more authentic to your values, and how you can actually also get an ROI out of your efforts too. So that's all coming back to your values, and that's what I always think about when I'm marketing. So
I think it's important for people to realize that also we as a species put too much pressure on ourselves.
mm-hmm.
So I think that we are our own worst enemy. We as people doubt ourselves, wonder if we're doing the right thing. Is this the correct way to go about it? Am I doing this properly? You gotta just trust that you're okay, and that maybe someone will be better, but maybe somebody will be worse, but to just be who you want to be, and love yourself, and be kind to yourself. We all kind of beat ourselves up, especially now with this social media. We're all like, I don't have any followers, I don't have this, I don't.
Yeah.
Calm down. I
Right.
actually had to step away last week. I just couldn't take it. I was like, I'm not working. I can't, I need a break. And then I realized, how many times we just don't feel good about ourselves. I'm insecure. I'm fearful. I'm fat. I'm ugly. Stop that and say, I'm good. I'm fine. And
Mm-hmm.
how bad could it be?
Yeah.
Right? How bad could it be? Like, I did my own graphics. I'm like, if it doesn't come out the right way, how bad could it be?
Mm-hmm.
And no, but there's no graphic police coming to arrest you. There's no social media people going to come and kill you.
Right. Exactly.
So be true to yourself
Mm-hmm.
and trust in yourself.
Yeah, and know that you're already the fullest expression of who you are, and no one can take that from you, right?
And you're just going to build on that foundation. We
Hmm.
each have our own foundation.
Absolutely.
So building on that, and we all have different houses, right? I always
Yeah.
look at things of like construction. When I go through therapy, I'm like, right now I'm digging, trying to dig to get the foundation going. Then I'm putting
I
up the
love it.
walls. Then we're having electric run. I do a
Yeah,
whole,
right.
now we're up to plumbing.
There you go. I
I'm
know
actually painting and decorating. That's
that
when it's better.
one. Well, thank you so much for having me, Allison. It was
You're
always a
welcome. Thank you
pleasure.
for
Yeah.
coming on and telling us all about Designers on Social. So you're planning it again for this coming January next year, 2022?
Yeah, it's in the works.
Cool. Well, you know I'll be there.
And I will have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And I have a great day. Enjoy the week, the rest of the week, and I will be talking to you soon.
All right. And let me know if you want me to introduce you to the virtual events consultant as well, you know.
You know that. You know I will.
All right.
Take care, Bobby. Thanks so much. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.